Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey, chapter 128. It is the second day of the week, aka the Quadzilla workout. We are going to have something new for tomorrow, but right now I'm on the way to the gym. It is at the new hour that I am going, which is nighttime basically. Going to see how packed these squat racks are and pray that one is open for a little bit. Today you'll see a little bit of a change in the programming actually. You should be able to see some change as I have replaced something and switched something out with the shotgun dropkick stuff, and I've also taken a couple of exercises out of today. But when we get there, we get there. But for now, I wanted to talk about the subject matter that is today's video, which you've already seen by now, which is editing. I know I never really mentioned it before. Well, cut to me saying all this shit about editing. But editing is something that recently, hold on, is that a friend of mine? No, it's not. Editing has been more recently something that I have not been able to do because of this job. So that is something that has been occurring. So editing, though great, generally speaking, I like editing. I actually do like the entire grind of getting in there and starting to do everything. The thing about it is, for me though, editing, you have to get into like a groove state to do it, really. That's the main thing about editing, is that you have to get into a groove state of it. But I wanted to take this episode to talk a little bit more about editing in general, why it takes so long for me to do these episodes, and just some behind the scenes stuff when it comes to it, as to like the time that it would take to do something like this. Because although it seems as though it is easy, and relatively so, it is kind of easy, there are a bunch of steps to it that make it a little bit more complicated. Could I streamline this entire series to be a little bit easier to edit for me, and then that way I can get them out a little bit more quicker and all this other stuff? Well, yes, of course. But I like the level of control that I currently have on my editing suite, which is nice, and it makes me feel happy for whenever I would want to do something extra for a video, so I don't have to go out of my way to do it. I'd rather use something that is very powerful and only use like 5% of it than rather use something that is too simple and then I'm stuck with my thumb on my ass trying to figure out how to make it even better. But speaking about that, I personally use DaVinci Resolve in order to edit. It is a great editing software. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, I would recommend it. It's free. I have the free version and it works perfectly. There's only been one time it asked me to maybe that you should pay for it, and that was when I was trying to do a certain visual effects that I wasn't even actually trying to use. I was just highlighting over them to see what they were. It is what it is, but for free so far, it's been excellent and it's been great. I like to use it a lot. I've actually grown to like it a lot. When I first started using it, it was very confusing and very overwhelming, but once I got the hang of it, it's so good, and I would love to keep using it, but it is a little hefty. The main thing that makes it hefty, and I guess I'll talk about this too, are the size of the files of these videos, because this is a lot of footage that actually goes into the making of these videos, and all in 2.7K to be exact, which literally doubles the entire amount. Thank God I don't record in 4K, or else these episodes would probably be even slower and also probably would never come out. Honestly, at that point I would have probably run out of hard drive space by now. That's how seriously big these files are. So I'm gonna nerd out a little bit on this episode because I really do want to talk about like the behind the scenes editing stuff, because this is the type of shit that I actually do enjoy talking about / like knowing about. But it is a pain in the ass when in general for editing, because the issue is that it is truly time consuming. But how much time? We'll talk about that on the inside. So on this day I started with squats, which were pretty nice. I found out later though they were amazingly tough, but that was just a whole other story, which for a different day actually, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about editing in general. Let's say these videos on average, I want to say take me about 3 hours to edit in total, give or take a little bit. I would say it all just depends on production and a few other things. If what I'm talking about requires a little bit more effort or not, it all just depends. But about 3 hours per episode, I would say. If I'm concentrated 1000% without doing anything else, that is what I would say is what the time limit would be, or the time roughly per se. It all just depends. Some episodes aren't as editing intensive, other episodes are editing intensive. I've added certain things like the Spotify playlist thing, which does add like a bit more time to editing, but nothing too crazy. It's worth doing, and I like actually seeing a little bit of what the songs that I use for PRs and stuff like that, or just to like hype myself up. It's pretty good. It also makes me kind of want to change them every once in a while. Like if I've seen a certain song one too many times, I decided to change it out because it would make more sense to just change it up a little bit. So that's just something for editing purposes. I use DaVinci Resolve, which has been a excellent switch. I'd highly recommend it for anybody who wants to get into serious editing or even light editing. It is great. It has probably been the most powerful editing suite that I've used. I used to use Vegas. Vegas was good up until it sucked, and then it just sucked nonstop. But once you get used to something and then you switch over, there is that learning curve. But once you learn it, it is great, and that applies to this. This also only applies if you have a NVIDIA graphics card. DaVinci's kind of fucking weird, and they only allow NVIDIA graphics cards, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But generally speaking, I do like editing. I've been doing it for now since Windows Movie Maker in like 2010, maybe 2009. So I've been using editing softwares for a good 10 plus years of my life now, more, maybe even 15, knocking on 15 years of my life. I've been using video editing and video editors. So I like doing it generally. It is something that I don't know if I would like to do it as a career per se, but I would like to do it on my own projects. I wouldn't mind doing it for somebody else, but I have to like what they're doing. So if they are like, let's say, an artist, I would have to agree with their artistic vision in order for me to work with them. I would not want to work at like an editing job for somebody that I dislike or have no interest in making videos for. So that is something that I was talking about with someone recently about, you know, would I want to do this as a job? And I think I wouldn't mind, but I don't know if I'd have the passion for it depending on who I'm doing it for, really. Because I'm doing it for myself, I love it. I love every second of it, and that is the main thing that keeps me going, because I really do enjoy doing it. There are some times where I could like make meme jokes or just things like that, things that make me laugh, and that's really at the end of the day half of this series. You know, it's about what I want to do about it, what I want to talk about, what I want to do. And editing is just a little bit of it. It sucks that it took me so long to get to the point now where I'm back into editing like I was. I'm gonna start these in here because I actually get light. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed. None exercises skipped. We had two. We had the hip adductors, and we also had the leg raises. I had to skip both because both things were being used. It's late. I'm not going to wait for them. That is the unfortunate thing about going to the gym at this time, is that I'm just not wait for certain machines or certain things like I would have when I would go earlier. I'm just not worth it on this day. Maybe if there's like something happening where like tomorrow I'm not going to be doing something or whatever, something like that, but I'm not going to be waiting for it. Besides, these are one of the two of those things I'm going to do again later, aka, well, we'll see when. You'll see actually when that's gonna go. And then the other thing, it's not too bad. It's not the worst thing that I could skip, which it could be replaced on the next shotgun drop kick, honestly. So it is what it is. But anyways, so as you saw there, I also replaced out the RDLs because I don't want to be hogging up bar the entire time and squat rack while I'm there. So I plan on just doing one of those. I'm trying to split up the major joints so there's at least one major lift per session. That way, that is the major lift per that session. So that's why, aka it is now part of the shotgun drop kick, but we'll talk more about that when we get there. But anyways, back to the main subject matter at hand. Editing. I actually do enjoy editing a lot. I'm actually missing it right now as we speak. I actually hate the fact that I'm not editing. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I'm gonna have to figure out a system where I can at least edit for like half an hour a day or something, somewhere, fit editing somewhere into my schedule that isn't just the weekends or on days that I have randomly off, because that's not going to be enough time to crank out an episode. So that's why I'm going to have to really sit there and study when and where I can do it and look at my schedule and start figuring it out. This is the first week of my new scheduling. So right now, I'm not too worried about it. I'm probably gonna have a fucking huge backlog of episodes to edit, which I'm not really worried about, but I'm also like, fuck, I don't want to make it too big to where it's like, what was I talking about here again? What were my thoughts on this again? You know, that entire thing. So I'm gonna have to try to get at least like batches of them done at a time until I can figure out a schedule for them, and then see how that could go, because I don't want to just like leave them to chance or the weekend. I love editing. I can't wait to do editing. I'm very excited to go back to you, baby. I miss you. Yes, Da Vinci, I miss you. And future Oscar, who's editing this, insert something to make this a little bit funnier. But anyways, with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this in editing in general, if you do any editing. If you aren't an editor, if you want to get into it, if you rely on somebody else to do it, please let me know in the comments below. There is still something stuck in my eye. Holy shit. All right. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will be back tomorrow with a new video. I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Keep it heavy. Peace.